Today, I'm making something that I absolutely love year-round and is the perfect accompaniment for pretty much any baked good, and it's called raspberry coulis. Now, it sounds a lot fancier than it is, and I promise you it's not hard at all. Raspberry coulis is actually French. Coulis stands for a fruit that's been pureed into a sauce. And once you puree it, you strain it, and we'll get to that. So I like to make raspberry coulis, though you can do it with other fruits. I first made it to go with a New York style plain cheesecake, and it was delicious. Everyone raved almost more about the coulis than they did the cheesecake. And that's saying something because the cheesecake is excellent. But I have made it several times to go with other things, to go with cookies. It's great over ice cream if you want a different kind of like sundae topping. And today I'm making it because it's actually going to be injected into the center of cupcakes I am making for Halloween coming up. So what I have here are actually my raspberries that I've already cooked down. So this is just 12 ounces of fresh raspberries. You can use frozen raspberries, but you need to let them thaw first. But you don't need to drain them. You can dump them right into the pot. So 12 ounces of raspberries. Like I said, I always use fresh. I find it easier and they keep longer. Half a cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of water. You can also, if you would like to, you could add a tablespoon of some kind of liquor. Some people like to do like a raspberry liqueur. Some people do an orange liqueur. That's totally up to you. I just went with water for this one. So once you reduce it down, you just want to smash the berries a little bit. You're going to heat it till it starts to bubble and it'll look liquidy. You'll still have chunks of fruit, but remember that's no problem because we're going to throw it right here in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor or you don't want to dirty the food processor, you can use a blender as well. I have done both. They give you exactly the same effect. So we're just going to dump it in here. And you can take it right off the stove and dump it right in to the food processor. Okay. Throw on the lid. Make sure guard in place. And we're just going to blend it long enough so that it's nice and smooth. If you blend it too long, you're going to start to break down the seeds. And then when we go to strain it, pieces of seeds will go through and you end up with something that's not perfectly smooth. So we're just going to do it on low for just a short bit. And you'll start to see it smooth out along the side here, which is why I like using the food processor rather than the blender. Food processor is a little bit longer and wider, so you get a more even blend. Take the lid off, lift this guy up. You can still see it's really warm, but it smells delicious. I mean, raspberries. That looks perfect. So the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to strain it. So I have here just a clear glass bowl. I would suggest a glass bowl if you have one. Other mixing bowls, I have some that look like stainless steel inside and actually insulate more. It takes longer for something to cool. So I would do a glass bowl, plus you can see the consistency that your sauce is headed in. And pour it through a large mesh strainer. You can get these strainers pretty much anywhere. I got mine at Bed Bath & Beyond, actually in a set of 3 different sizes, which is really great. So that no matter how you're making something, because you can double or triple this really easily and have a lot to go around, then you have something big enough. So I have mine in the large mesh strainer here, and you can see some of it has already started to come through. All you have to do is take the back of a spatula. I recommend a spatula because it has some flexibility, and you're just going to start working it through. This will allow the liquid to pass through, but the seeds to stay in the strainer, which is going to create this really silky, smooth, almost creamy sauce. It is so delicious. It's not too sweet because it only uses a little bit of sugar. You're really relying on the natural sugars from the fruit, which is the part I really like about it. So it has a nice tart bite, which is why it's great with something like cheesecake or over ice cream, because you get a lot of flavor, but you don't get a lot of added sweetness. Like I said, it's really versatile. I'm going to be injecting it into chocolate cupcakes, which I think is really fun. But the cupcake will be sweet and the frosting will be sweet, but this will be a nice bite in the center that kind of balances all of that out. And you can see it's a slow process, but it is starting to come together. I have also done this with blackberry. It's really good. We're getting towards pie season, almost in November here, so doing a sauce like this would be really good with any of your pies for the holidays. It's easy, you can make it ahead of time. It's good for about 7 to 10 days in an airtight container in your refrigerator. So you could make this if you wanted to make a lot of it at one time, or you had a couple of holiday parties that you were hosting or headed to. You could make this ahead of time and just store it in the fridge. I really love that it keeps, because then I can have it for a variety of things. And like I said, I've put it with white macadamia nut cookies, all kinds of stuff, and my friends really love it, so it's really easy. Getting down to just the seeds already, and you'll be able to tell that you've pureed it long enough that the seeds should be whole sitting in your strainer. You saw it doesn't take very long. Now this will take maybe 2 hours to cool. You can leave it in this glass bowl. I'd put it in the fridge with some kind of cling wrap touching the surface. That's going to help any kind of weird film from forming over the top of it while it's cooling. And you can serve it warm if you wanted to. I usually serve it cold, but that's because I'm serving it over things that are cold, so that's totally up to you. You could add liquor to it. You could really do anything you wanted. It's also a great component if you're looking to concentrate the amount of fruit or raspberry. You don't want to fill it with fruit, but you want a lot of that flavor. This is a great way to do that. You're getting the best part and the best flavor of the fruit in a really smooth and easy to use way. All right, so looks like that is done. Just get the rest off the strainer here. It's not always the neatest job, but it's delicious and it's totally worth it. And then you can see all of your seeds are left here. You can just throw them right in the trash. And you're left with your raspberry coulis here. Like I said, you can just throw this right in the fridge. And it'll firm up a little bit. It's really liquidy right now, but it'll firm up a bit and it will be delicious with anything that you need. So keep this in mind for the holidays. Really easy, super fun, and sounds very fancy. So until next time, see you later.